Good evening and welcome to A Christmas Carol. Tonight, our cast of characters are Bob Grant as Ebenezer Scrooge.
Bah, humbug!
Ralph Howard as Bob Cratchit.
I'm the luckiest man in the world having such a fine family.
Dan Meenan as the Ghost of Christmas Past.
Look down, Ebenezer, and think back to your youth.
Mark Simone as the Ghost of Christmas Present.
Have you never seen the like of me before?
Mike Thompson as Scrooge's nephew, Fred.
Christmas a humbug?
Bill Daughtry and Charles Pellet as gentlemen callers.
How much shall we put you down for, Mr. Scrooge?
Barry Gray as the Ghost of Marley.
This is your last chance to escape my miserable fate.
And I am your host, John Scheuer. It is the afternoon before Christmas Day in the year of our Lord, 1844. Despite the bitterly cold weather, all London is in a festive mood.
Stop it! Stop it, I say! Go away from here with all that noise. We'll have no singing around here. Do you understand that? No singing, I say.
A Merry Christmas, sir.
No need to wish him a Merry Christmas. That's old Scrooge.
Yes, that's old Scrooge, all right. Ebenezer Scrooge. And there's no sign of happiness or festivity on his lined face. He closes the door and returns to his office. He looks around, glowers at his clerk, Bob Cratchit, snorts as he sees Cratchit bent over his desk hard at work. As he adjusts his spectacles and turns, without warning, the door opens.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Ah, humbug.
Christmas a humbug? Surely you don't mean that, Uncle.
Merry Christmas indeed. What right have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
What right do you have to be dismal? You're rich enough.
What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money? A time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer. If I had my way, every idiot who goes about with a Merry Christmas on his lips would be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. You keep Christmas in your own way, and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it? But you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone, then.
I've
What good it's done you?
I've always thought of Christmas as a good time, a time for forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. And I say, God bless it.
Amen.
Let me hear another sound from you, Bob Cratchit, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation.
Don't be angry, Uncle. I came here to ask you to spend Christmas Day with Peg and me.
No, certainly not.
We want nothing from you, Uncle, other than your company for Christmas Day. Right. Well, won't you change your mind and join us and have dinner with us?
You know my sentiments on Christmas. Good day, Fred.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year to you.
Humbug.
Pardon me, Mr. Scrooge.
What is it?
There's a gentleman here to see you.
What about, Cratchit?
He didn't say, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. I have the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley.
Mr. Marley, my former partner, has been dead these 7 years. He died 7 years ago this very night.
Then I have no doubt his liberality is well represented by his surviving partner.
What do you want?
At this festive season, Mr. Scrooge, we try to make some slight provision for the poor and destitute. Many thousands are in want of common necessities.
Are there no prisons?
Oh, plenty of prisons.
And the workhouses, are they still in operation?
I wish I could say they were not. How much shall I put you down for, Mr. Scrooge?
Nothing.
You wish to be anonymous, Mr. Scrooge?
I wish to be left alone. Let these deserving people of yours go to the establishments I have mentioned.
Most of them would rather die than to do that, Mr. Scrooge.
Then let them do that, and help decrease the surplus population. I'm busy. Good afternoon to you.
Very good, Mr. Scrooge. Goodbye, and Merry Christmas to you.
And good riddance to you, Charity. Bah, humbug.
Mr. Scrooge, sir?
Well, what is it, Cratchit?
I was wondering.
You were wondering if you could go home.
Yes, sir. It's getting late.
Yes, go on. You'll want the whole day off tomorrow, I suppose.
If it's quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair.
It's only once a year, sir.
A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th day of December. I suppose you must have the whole day, but be here earlier than next day. Understand?
Yes, sir. Merry Christmas.
Christmas. Humbug!
A few minutes later, Scrooge leaves his office and makes his way to his melancholy chambers, a gloomy suite of rooms. By the light of a single flickering candle, he eats a cold supper. And then, to save lighting his stove, Ebenezer Scrooge retires for the night. The minutes tick away. Scrooge sleeps uneasily, tossing from side to side, and then awakes with a start to a loud clanking sound. Walking toward him, dragging a heavy chain, is a gray, dim figure which stops at the foot of the bed.
Who are you? What do you want? Who are you? Answer me.
Ask me who I was.
You
Yes,
can't be.
Yes, in life I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
But it cannot be so. You're dead.
You don't believe in me?
No. You're nothing but an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese.
You are wrong, Ebenezer. I am the ghost of Jacob Marley.
Why do you come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men and travel far and wide. And if that spirit does not go forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death.
No, I don't believe it.
It is then doomed to wander through the world.
You are chained, Jacob. Tell me why.
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link, yard by yard. I wore it of my own free will. It is its pattern strange to you?
I don't understand.
This chain I wear is as heavy as the one you are now forging.
You talk strangely, Jacob.
For 7 years I have been dead, traveling the whole time.
7 years dead, and traveling all the time? You must have covered a lot of territory.
No rest, no peace, only remorse.
But you were always a good man of business.
Business. Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, benevolence were all my business. But I heeded none of these. Instead, I thought only of money.
And what is wrong with making money?
That is your weakness, Ebenezer, as it was mine. And that is why I'm in here tonight, part of the reason for my penance. I am here to warn you, to help you escape my fate. You have one chance left.
Oh, but tell me how this chance will come.
My time draws near. I must go. Tonight you will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Is that the chance you mentioned, Jacob? I think I'd rather not.
The first will appear when the bell strikes once. Expect the second at the stroke of 2. And the third as the bell tolls 3.
Couldn't they all come at once and have it over with?
No, and heed them well when they appear. Remember, it is your last chance to escape my miserable fate.
As Scrooge stares in frightened silence, the wraith-like figure of his deceased partner, Marley, recedes into space. Then, exhausted by the ordeal, Scrooge drops off to sleep. In the distance, the steeple clock is heard striking 1. The curtains of Scrooge's bed are drawn aside as if by invisible hands. Suddenly, there stands by the bed a strange figure with white hair holding a sprig of fresh green holly. Scrooge stares and then speaks.
Are you the spirit whose coming was told me by Jacob Marley?
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past. Your past. Rise up and walk with me.
Where?
Out through the window.
What? But we are 3 stories above ground. I'm only a mortal.
Bear but a touch of my hand upon your heart, and you shall be upheld in more than this.
What are we to do?
I am going to help redeem you. Come, Walk with me out into the night, into the past.
The wind howls as the ghost and Scrooge walk off into the night. Scrooge is trembling with fright.
Tell me, ghost of Christmas past, where are we?
Look down, Ebenezer, and think back to your youth.
Why, of course. The river, the meadows, and that's the old school where I went as a lad. But there is no one about.
It's Christmas holiday. Look into this study hall.
Empty, except for a young boy sitting at his desk, his head in his hands. Left behind. He's crying. Oh, poor chap. No place to go at Christmas. Now he's looking up.
Do you recognize him?
Why, it's me.
Come, let's look back at another Christmas, a year later.
The wind howls again as they move ahead in time to take a closer look at the young Ebenezer Scrooge.
Why, there's the school again. There is a boy pacing up and down in the schoolyard. I wonder who...
Do you recognize him?
Yes. I see it is myself as a boy. A coach is coming up the roadway. Now it has stopped. And a little boy gets out. Oh, look. He's hugging me. It's my brother Peter.
Listen to what he says.
I have come to bring you home, dear brother Ebenezer. Father's not mean anymore, and he says you're never coming back here. And from now on, we'll always be together. Just think, we're together for the first time in 4 years.
Your brother was such a frail creature, kind, soft-hearted.
So he was. He died so young.
And left a son.
Yes, Fred, my nephew.
He came to wish you a Merry Christmas yesterday.
Yes, he did. Oh, please, take me back.
Not yet. There is one more spirit for you to see.
Oh, no more, please. I do not wish to see it.
You must. Several years have passed. In the house below there sits a young, beautiful girl.
It's Belle.
The girl you were to marry. And you sit next to her, a man in your prime. Now your face begins to show the signs of avarice. There's a greedy, restless motion in your eyes. Listen to what she's saying to you.
It matters very little to you, Ebenezer. Another idol has displaced me, a golden one. You hold your money more important than me, or anything else for that matter. I am going to grant your wish, free you from marrying me. That is what you desire, Ebenezer. I feel very sorry for you.
Spirit, show me no more.
Today, Belle is a happy woman, surrounded by her fine children. Those children might have been yours if you hadn't been so selfish.
Oh, take me back. I beg of you.
Scrooge had seen enough of the past, and his pleas to be returned to the present are heard. The steeple clock strikes twice, and Scrooge finds himself back in his bedroom. Slowly, his door, though bolted, swings open.
Good morning, Ebenezer. I'm the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me.
You're practically a giant, yet you have a young face.
Have you never seen the like of me before?
Never.
I have many brothers, over 1,800 of them, one for each Christmas since the very first.
A tremendous family to provide for.
Touch my robe, Ebenezer, and come forth with me. I trust you'll profit by your journey. We have little time, and there's a place we must visit. It's a very poor house in a very poor section of London. This one, directly below it.
Indeed it is. Who, may I ask, lives here?
An underpaid clerk named Bob Cratchit.
The Bob Cratchit that works for me?
The very same.
That woman, those children.
His wife and family.
Why, that's Cratchit coming up the stairs now. He's carrying a young boy.
His youngest child, Tiny Tim.
The child carries a crutch.
Because he is crippled.
But the doctors...
Cratchit cannot afford a doctor, not on 15 shillings a week.
Oh, but...
Shh, listen.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And the most Merry Christmas.
Father, Tiny Tim.
Merry Christmas. Welcome. Tiny Tim, sit next to me. Father.